I just love wrestling.
Yeah.
That's all. I just love wrestling.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like in our relationship I have to be the WWE apologist a lot of the time. Yeah, like I have to say, no, it's okay. Like those things happen every now and then. Hey everybody, we're the Sporting Couple. I'm Pedro Amador.
And I'm Meredith Amador.
Today we're going to talk about the week in Raw. This is July 20th, and we are talking about the Raw from Monday and the live SmackDown draft. This is a rare thing for us. We have not had a draft in about 5 years, so this was an exciting event for us.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, we at least want to do justice and talk about Raw a little bit. Even though I thought it was a bit of a nothing show.
It really was.
Yeah, I thought it was very much like we have a little bit of time. This is our last time before the draft, before things really matter. So we can kind of screw around here on this show. And it really felt like that. Like I don't think any of the matches were of importance or consequence, really. Even though, oddly enough, it's a go-home show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a pay-per-view this weekend.
They're notorious for not doing very good go-home shows.
Yeah, that's very true. They have struggled in the past with go-home shows. And this was really no exception. But really, I thought it was very much a special case because of the draft. They were just like, whatever, we'll figure it out.
We're just going to get to the draft.
Not that big a deal. So the show, oddly enough, did feel a little bit lazy. The things that I thought were interesting in the show were we got the introduction of our GMs. I thought it was a bit of a surprise for Mick Foley on Raw. I thought they might have a heel general manager, but I think I've read in the dirt sheets they were thinking about Mick Foley.
Well, they had that leaked, too.
Yeah, so I wasn't surprised. And they'd leaked, the Yes Movement had come to SmackDown, so I wasn't surprised it was Daniel Bryan. But the thing that did surprise me about it was we had Stephanie announce the Cruiserweights would be exclusive to Raw. So I think when I heard that, I was like, okay, so what's SmackDown going to get? Like, I thought there'd be like, okay, well, what's going to happen now with SmackDown? And then when I found out, there's nothing.
Right.
Like SmackDown gets nothing. Raw gets the first pick in the draft. They get the extra pick, but that makes sense because they have an extra hour for the show. But then, what about all these cruiserweights that are going to come in from the Cruiserweight Classic? If that's where they're coming from,
where Daniel Bryan came from.
Are these just extra guys? And then that's the issue. The guy who's really been the face of the Cruiserweight Classic, Daniel Bryan, is not associated with the Cruiserweights at all on the main roster.
Nope.
And I think that's a real miss.
Big mistake.
Yeah, he didn't even actually sell to the audience at all. He didn't bring it up. He didn't put it over to that crowd at all. Like he didn't mention his involvement with that in the least.
No, I know.
And I thought that was a little bit strange, but he's on SmackDown now, so what does he care about the Cruiserweights? I guess that's the way it's just going to work.
Yes. We'll get to the draft in a minute. I'm just very disappointed in the way the draft went.
Sure. The other main part of Raw, or the only part of Raw worth talking about, I think, was the main event. I thought we had an excellent match between Rollins and Ambrose.
As usual.
These guys have great chemistry.
Absolutely.
I feel like I can watch them wrestle, once a week. I'm really okay with that. The thing that I didn't like was the match's finish. I'm totally cool with a dusty finish. Hey, no winner, baby. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I think it's okay, but this one was a little dumb. A lot dumb.
Yeah, really dumb.
The referee, there's shenanigans. There's a ref bump, but he's able to compose himself to get up and to make a normal count when both wrestlers' shoulders are on the mat. But then afterwards, when being hounded by Stephanie and Shane, he can't form words to say I think it's a draw. I might need to look at the replay again.
Nothing was done.
Yeah, it was just odd.
He was crawling to the edge, and then he was like.
It was that bit. I was like, okay,
like he had 10 tequila shots all in one sitting.
Yeah, like what is this? I just wasn't sure what I was looking at that moment in time. It just was
really
a little
confusing.
Odd. And then the weirdest part of it all was, I was like, well, they want to have a build to next week at SmackDown. To tomorrow at SmackDown. And they didn't even do that. They just gave you the results on the network.
When I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, they made this segment even worse.
Yeah. Instead of having some confusion or something going towards next week's show, towards the show the next day, they just give it to you on the network. Matter of fact, I got a notification from the app to let me know that Dean Ambrose was still the WWE champion. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, it's a little less intrigue for the show. I mean, granted, there was no way I wasn't going to watch the live SmackDown, but it just seemed like a weird missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Just oddly dumb booking, you know, just for the sake of it,
Dumb
I guess.
and lazy. One thing about Raw that I thought was good, that happened actually before the main event, was a little comedy hour between the Club, the Wyatts, and Enzo and Cass.
Yeah, actually, I really enjoyed that
It was
segment.
funny.
Yeah.
Always love Enzo. Whenever he comes out, he always makes me laugh. I don't know what it is about him.
He really is. He's great.
He's hilarious.
He's done just about as amazing a job as I would have hoped he would have done on the main roster.
And Cass and him have great chemistry.
They really do. They really do. They work together well. Sometimes the New Day and them don't always mix together well. Like they had that segment a few weeks ago about Enzo having sex with the trombone, but I didn't think that segment worked at all.
Yeah.
But this was a lot better. I even enjoyed Cena's old man bit of, what are you guys doing having fun in the ring? Like, I even thought he was good with that whole segment.
Yeah, he was good. He was like, what is
the club
this?
crapping over all of what they were doing. I really did enjoy the segment. It was a lot of fun. It didn't add up to a whole lot, but it was a lot of fun. And I at least appreciate when professional wrestling can be fun. And then moving on to live SmackDown. It's a little weird to watch wrestling on a Tuesday night. That's not a shot at TNA. You know, I guess it is a shot at TNA. SmackDown did amazing numbers, which is not a surprise at all.
Yeah.
I think what they get?
3.17 in viewers, increased 53% from last week, which is huge.
Yeah, no, that's pretty big.
But it's a big event.
Yeah, I mean, once again, they're not going to have live drafts every week.
No.
So. But at least it's encouraging that it would have been a disaster had we talked about, like, they didn't get a big bump in ratings. But they did, you know, so that's what we wanted to see from it. And the show was very much, wrestling was secondary on this show, pardon me. It was, you know, like they had to have some wrestling on there because they're a wrestling show, but only the main event mattered.
They just basically rehashed Raw.
Yeah, it was about the draft. It was about the draft and reminding you, hey, there's a pay-per-view this weekend, but only a slight reminder. As for the draft itself, I know you have a lot to say about it.
Yes, I was sorely disappointed in this draft. In fact, I wrote down all the people that were drafted on Raw, and I'm just going to name a few here that is Raw and SmackDown are once again very one-sided. I thought that they would split talent like they said they would, but they didn't. So just to name a few people they drafted on Raw: Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, New Day, Roman Reigns, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar, Cesaro, Paige, Sami Zayn. I mean, Rusev, the list goes on. Let's name a few on SmackDown: AJ Styles, John Cena, Dean Ambrose, Becky Lynch, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton. I mean, Baron Corbin, Albert Usos. I mean, all these people. It's so one-sided, so very one-sided. I was so disappointed with the way Raw turned out, or the way that they drafted to Raw. There's no change there. It's the same old, same old. Let's dump on SmackDown. Let's make it crap again.
Yeah, there was that feeling that, you know, Raw is the A show and they wanted to be sure that you were aware of it. I feel like someone should tell Vince that SmackDown isn't WCW. Like it's okay if...
Or TNA,
yeah,
for that matter.
It's like it's okay if they have a little success. I didn't feel as negative about it as you did, but I certainly wasn't very high on the draft either. One of my issues is that as I was looking down people that were drafted, I sort of noticed that a lot of people went along where storylines are at this point.
Boring.
Like Cena and Styles, I thought they got stuck together. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn got stuck together when I really wanted them separated a little bit, because I think we've done a lot of Sami Zayn and Owens. We've done that quite a bit, and I felt we could have moved away from that. And both guys, I think, could have grown really well. I think both guys are talented as hell and would have had success out of that. But I feel like we're going to get this feud for a little while longer, and that's not necessarily what I wanted to see. I got that vibe from a lot of the draft picks. You know, I think Sasha and Charlotte were drafted to the same roster.
Yeah, they were.
And Dana Brooke was added later on the network to Raw as well. So, like, that storyline can continue to exist. Like, I really feel they made a lot of draft picks of where they were at right now, which leads me to my biggest pet peeve here against WWE is, like, I really feel like the rules, like, they came up with that, like, Saturday at the 11th hour. You know, they ran it by Vince one more time on Sunday. Like, I feel like they don't really know what they want to do. They know they wanted to do a draft, but it really stunk of, we don't know exactly how we're going to do all this stuff coming down the line.
I don't think Vince takes getting told what to do by the network very well.
Yeah, and I know they say, hey, you got to do whatever you can to bring up these ratings for SmackDown. And, the draft is what they came on. And it's a good idea because SmackDown had very much descended into Raw rematches. And,
yeah.
And it had been that way for a long time. I know for a while, we had just completely stopped watching SmackDown. Because there was never anything of note on the show.
And I'm worried that this is going to happen again, where we're just going to be stuck watching this crap show.
I don't think that will happen again, but I would have liked to have seen a better wrestling talent on the show. And I'm not knocking who they have necessarily.
No.
But my issues are they got John Cena. I mean, he is the franchise,
on his way
obviously.
Out.
But I mean, Cena has half a foot out the door. It's a rare thing to say. I never thought I would say it, but he has hosting career. He can actually do a little acting. He can move outside of wrestling a little bit, and that can really hurt that pick for SmackDown. Randy Orton has had a long injury history. He's going to be back from an injury very quickly, but he is a little bit older as well. I don't know how much time he has really left to main event one of the any WWE show.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, I'm not saying like Orton is made up, is brittle and going to fall apart, but it's something to note. He has had an injury history.
He was out like 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, AJ Styles has. I love AJ Styles. I mean, he's the pick that I'm really happy about.
Yeah, he was. When they announced that, I was ecstatic. I was like, okay, fine. They're going to actually do something with SmackDown.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case.
But yeah, like I said, I kind of figured they would have some of the lower end guys, and that'd be the place where they'd push them. Your Cesaros, Finn Balor. But those guys ended up going to Raw, which was a bit of a shame. Mm-hmm. The other thing I think that I want to harp on is that we're not really 100% certain about how they want to do the titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we just don't know what they want to do in that respect.
Right.
We don't know. I mean, obviously, Battleground will determine where a lot of titles end up. Mm-hmm. But there's an opportunity for Raw to collect all the titles by Monday, or SmackDown to do that on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Pardon me, Sunday. So we don't really know how tag team titles are gonna flow. We don't know about the Divas title because they drafted Divas to both. The women's wrestlers to both shows. So yep. We don't know how that part works out. But I don't think they really know either. I think they have an idea, but I don't think they really know how that part of it is going to work out. And I think that's what's unfortunate is there's so much that we're unsure of, and I think they're unsure of it too. And that's what really worries me going forward with the product.
I am equally as worried. I'm a little bit more pissed than you, but you're a lot more fair than I am.
Yeah. I don't always like to jump the gun on criticism with them. However,
I just love wrestling.
Yeah.
That's all. I just love wrestling.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like in our relationship I have to be the WWE apologist a lot of the time. Yeah, like I have to say, no, it's okay. Like those things happen every now and then. It's not that bad at booking. Like I have to defend Vince, and I never thought I'd be in that scenario. I've defended Vince McMahon quite a bit.
A lot.
Yeah, I had to defend him today in a weird circumstance. Going back to the main event, we did have a rematch from the previous night of Rollins and Ambrose for the title. Another very good match from the two of them. I thought the match from Raw was a little bit better, but the thing that surprised me on that match was Ambrose just won clean.
Yeah, we got a clean finish.
Yeah, Ambrose just hit the dirty deeds and finished them off, and I was like, okay. I was like, we didn't get anything.
What are we here for?
Yeah, well, it doesn't lead to great booking for the main event, because basically the booking is like, hey, like these guys are great wrestlers and it's fun, but it doesn't matter until Reigns comes back.
I know.
Like that's sort of the message to WWE fans is like,
he's a cheater.
Like these is all good, but like only Reigns coming back really matters.
He's a cheater.
Yes. Well, we don't know what he did. Like we don't know if he was like if he loves cocaine. We don't know,
but still, it's not good.
Yeah, I mean I feel it's slightly unfair because we don't know if he's pothead. We don't know if he's doing meth, and we don't know. We don't know if he just took the wrong kind of creatine.
Right.
We have no idea because they won't tell us.
Right.
And I guess the other issue we just haven't brought up this week is the same issue with Brock as well. Mm-hmm. Like we don't know what they want to do with that either. And that was funny when the Raw took two guys back to back that are going to be piss test.
Yeah.
Piss test champions.
You're piss test champions.
Yeah. But like I said, not as excited as we thought we were going to be post-draft.
No.
But we're not entirely excited for Battleground, except for the main event. Like I want to see what they do because I don't think they're gonna have Reigns just come back and win as the face.
We'll see how it goes.
I think it's the perfect spot to turn him heel, but I'm really worried they're not gonna do that, and the story is gonna be Roman Reigns came back from the suspension and look at what a hero he is. And I mean, I'll be honest. Like I don't hate Reigns at all. I mean, I kind of like Reigns actually. I feel like he's gotten a bit of a raw.
He's very good looking.
I feel like he's gotten a bit of a raw deal. Pun very much not intended. But like, if they do that and just have him be the face, like that's really gonna turn me off. Like that'll be one thing I can't defend.
Yeah.
You know, because they're gonna put a cheater. Or possibly a guy who does drugs when he's in a spot where he should not be doing drugs.
Right.
How many guys would kill for the opportunity he has?
Work hard, and there's a lot of guys that work hard back there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's something like, you know, I mean.
He's been handed everything.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Everything.
Pretty much. I mean, I feel, you know, like I feel like he's wasted this opportunity, but, you know, if WWE doesn't, if they reward him, like, I don't know how excited I can be for the product going forward.
Well, we'll certainly find out this weekend.
We will. We'll be back next week. We're going to talk about Battleground, Raw, and Live SmackDown. We're still trying to figure out how our scheduling is going to work because Tuesdays were going to be our record day, and now there's a live show on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll figure it out. I'm Pedro Amador. Follow me at @Illusionist13. I live tweet most of the shows unless I'm passed out due to boredom.
And I'm Meredith Amador.
Yeah, and
You
we
can
will
follow
see
me on
you.
Twitter.
Yeah, that's right. At Lone Ladybug.
Lone Ladybug.
Lone Ladybug. Don't forget your handle. So we'll see you guys next week, and have a good one.
Bye.